In a major breakthrough, the Maharashtra Cyber Cell has uncovered what is being described as India's largest digital arrest scam, in which a prominent Mumbai-based stockbroker was duped of 58 crore rupees. This was done by a gang impersonating central investigating officers. According to officials, conmen allegedly digitally arrested the victim by threatening him over video calls. The accused, posing as officers of the Central Bureau of Investigation and the Enforcement Directorate, threatened the stockbroker with claims that his assets and bank accounts would be frozen if he did not comply. Terrified by these threats, the stockbroker reportedly transferred 58 crore to the scammers through 18 different bank accounts from across different states in the country. Acting on intelligence inputs, the Cyber Cell officials traced this money trail. They've arrested 3 individuals so far who are believed to be a part of the racket. Officials are now probing the matter, suspecting that this gang has an extensive network operating not only across India but on foreign soil as well. Efforts are now underway to identify and nab the remaining members of this larger nexus. The case highlights the growing menace of digital arrest fraud, which is a form of a cybercrime where victims are manipulated through fear and impersonation of law enforcement officers. It also serves as a reminder for citizens to remain cautious against these digital threats. So let's put this in perspective. What exactly is a digital arrest? It is a cyber scam where a victim receives calls or emails from fraudsters that pose as law enforcement officers. These callers arrest the unsuspecting victims. They then blackmail them by extorting money or sharing personal information for the crimes they have not even committed. With nowhere to go and cornered by these fear tactics, the victims end up losing money or data sometimes to these scammers. Money worth crores has been transferred to some of these scammers in cases that have come to the fore in the recent past. Earlier this year, a 78-year-old retired banker from Delhi was defrauded of 23 crore rupees in a month. This after he fell prey to a digital arrest scam. The fraud began in August when a woman posing as a telecom official accused him of illegal activities. He was later contacted by these conmen who posed as Mumbai police officers, as ED and CBI officers to make it seem like this action against him, which did not exist, was legit. They then threatened him with legal action, kept him under surveillance via video calls and forced him to stay home. Then between August 4th and September 4th, these scammers siphoned off 23 crore rupees from his accounts. After he approached the Delhi police, an FIR was registered on September 19th. And subsequently, funds worth 23 crores that were transferred from his bank accounts were frozen and an investigation was launched. Dr. Muktesh Chander, former DGP of Goa and a Evening Cybersecurity Fellow, also joins us on this broadcast. Dr. Chander, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. You know, we're hearing these kind of cases ever so often now. Every few weeks, unfortunately, there are senior citizens especially that are duped of lakhs and crore rupees. This one case that has come to the fore from Mumbai now is seen to be the biggest online scam. How do we fight against this?
See, the fundamental level, we should understand that the criminals are exploiting the basic human weakness of fear. Now, unfortunately, in the criminal justice system, there is a tremendous amount of fear of ED, CBI, and police. The fundamental problem is that if you have not done anything wrong, one should have a faith in the criminal justice system that nothing will happen. But since it is a fact that process itself is punishment, the moment an ED, CBI fake officer calls, the rational thinking process of a person is compromised. And that is the reason that educated people, those who are in the banking field, those who are in the share market, are aware of the fundamentals, they also fall prey to it. And this problem is a very serious problem to the extent that even our Honorable Prime Minister of India spoke about digital arrest now in his Man Ki Baat. Fundamentally, there is no such concept in Indian law of digital arrest. This basic understanding is important to know, that no such thing as called digital arrest is there in the Indian system. So the moment anybody talks about it, you presume that it is a fake. Unfortunately, SIM cards, WhatsApp number, and bank accounts are so easily available. And in spite of having KYC norms, it is a known fact that fake SIM cards, fake bank accounts are available, and the money goes from one account to another account in minutes. The only solution here is the prevention by educating the people and making awareness, and also detection of these cases timely so that recovery is possible as much as possible, and also the people are arrested and convicted. The only solution here is deterrence. let the cyber criminals get so much punishment that they are afraid of committing this. This is possible by proactive policing, by developing cyber intelligence, and now we have got so much of mechanism where financial transaction can be, flagged for their irregularities, and these accounts are responsible for multiple such cyber frauds, and it should be possible to detect them electronically.
When you speak of deterrence, then should we
Chander.
also have, do we also need to have a stronger mechanism in terms of provisions in the law, or to ensure that there is greater punishment for those who are caught in such situations?
The punishment, see, that law is already there, the severe punishment is also there. But how many of these people are caught and how many of them get convicted? The deterrence factor is decided not by the severity of the punishment, but by the certainty of the punishment. So that is the important angle. And in most of the cases, we see the victim is at in one place, the criminals are at another place, the bank accounts at all over India. And it is a maze which is so difficult for even a police officer to chase all around. So why not we have a centralized police mechanism or investigation mechanism which can do all India investigation, which has got all the databases available to it, and then it becomes easier. Right now, I understand that police is a state subject, and every state is supposed to do it. But the peculiar nature of cybercrime is such that at some point of time we may have to think of a centralized investigation mechanism like CBI, maybe for a particular amount. Beyond that, if it is their cybercrime, it goes into the jurisdiction of the central agency. And that will be one great factor. And also the tools of committing these crimes, the SIM cards, WhatsApp numbers, and the bank account, they must be closed. These are the weapons by which cyber criminals commit these offenses. So these weapons should not be available to them so easily. That's my take.
The other aspect is also recovery. I mean, once these individuals are apprehended, once they're caught, that's one aspect of it. But how easy or difficult is the recovery of the money that people have lost? I mean, 58 crores is a huge sum of money.
Think cyber, if it is reported as early as possible, like in the golden hour, within 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. But the problem in digital arrest system is that scam is that it continues for several days, even for months together. And by the time the criminals have already transferred it to so many accounts, layer one, layer two, layer uh, and then the money is withdrawn actually from these accounts in chunks. And the concept that reporting early will ensure recovery is lost in these digital scams. Here, I would say that once these people are arrested, then all their properties must be seized, all their ill-gotten money must be recovered from them. Until that recovery is made, they should not be granted bail by the judiciary, and that is how the deterrence will work. What we have seen is that in most of the cases are not registered for various reasons. If they are registered, they are not investigated properly, arrest is not made, detection is difficult, and after all, the conviction is the more. We don't have those kind of data available so easily, but I can say from my experience that this ratio is very, very low. So that is why sometimes even I receive a call and I tell them that I'm a police officer. Then they openly say that come and ask me if you can. So this kind of arrogant behavior that they know that they cannot be caught is unacceptable.
So what can be done in terms of raising awareness? Because like we've been talking about, some senior citizens, of course, are completely unsuspecting. But there have been people involved in the banking system, within the legal system as well, who have been caught in the mire of this digital arrest. What then can we do to ensure that
Yes.
there is greater awareness so that more people don't fall prey to this?
So this is like, road safety awareness we used to conduct. In the same way, now it is important that everywhere in schools, in colleges, for the particularly senior citizens who have got their retirement funds available, everyone, the vulnerable sections should be brought for these awareness programs. This could be online, this could be in the schools, and everyone should know. The identifying the symptoms of these problems is easy once you understand the process. Uh, af- Otherwise, they say that the so-called fraudster will say, "I'm attaching your money and it will go to Reserve Bank of India." So it is not going to actually Reserve Bank of India. When you see the account details, you will find that it is going into some various companies' account or individuals' account. Now, the basic understanding that Reserve Bank doesn't seize money like this. The police doesn't do digital arrest. The money is seized not like this. The bank accounts are frozen. So basic concepts of how police works, how investigating agencies work, what is the law of the land. Every citizen is supposed to be aware of these. And that is the biggest gap. I think that is what should be filled by awareness, by the police, by the Reserve Bank of India, by the banks, and everybody involved. And finally, if you are in the trouble has started, you can always take help from calling 1930 or from some friend or from your bank manager or from your friend. At least one of them would be aware of this issue and he will guide you, caution you. What we have seen is that in these cases, the stock brokers have sold all their stocks. They could have spoken to the stock broker himself. And somebody will be aware that there is a big scam going on and he will caution him.
And that's the most unfortunate bit, that even though there are some awareness campaigns that are already running, unfortunately, people are still falling prey to it. We do hope that that is scaled up and that there is greater deterrence within our legal system to ensure that this is stopped before it gets out of hand completely. But Dr. Muktesh Chander, thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18 and sharing your perspective with us.